Hey, everybody, thanks for watching this week's episode. We want to promote where you can see us. For tickets, go to joegattoofficial.com to see all my tour dates. And for Steve's, go to punchup.live/Steve-Byrne. That's Byrne. He makes it super easy to find him. And now, on to the episode.
There was a problem, yo, I'll solve. Word to your mother.
There you go. Well, welcome to Two Cool
Two Cool
Moms.
Moms.
Yeah,
We're
we're
back,
doing it.
baby.
Yes,
Woo!
I am Joe Gatto.
I'm Steve Byrne.
And a very special guest today. Guys, I can't believe it. I think he got lost and he just ended up in the studio by accident.
This is a gentleman you look at, like the two of us would look at and go, we're not the same species.
No.
Like, what happened?
Perfection.
This is
Michael Strahan is joining us.
Hey,
Yes,
thank you.
Thanks for having
You know
us.
I was going to be here for you, man.
I appreciate you.
You have, you gave me the biggest thrill and you don't even know it.
Okay.
Because when you came on $100,000 Pyramid.
Yes.
And my kids don't freak out about anybody. They freak out about you and I'm freaking out because all I do is watch at home because they put you on TV. And I'm like, okay. But yeah, you talked to my kid. You made a video. The first time you made a video, and I've learned you can do something for somebody.
Sure.
And do something for me. Great. I've always got your back.
Yeah.
But you do something for somebody's kids.
So,
Different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
get
mean-
somebody cool dad points. I think that's the biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
I think, when you get that, because you're always trying to connect with your kids to be like, look, I still got it.
Yeah, exactly. Daddy's somebody.
You know somebody. Yeah. That's
But
super
I'm
cool.
sure your kids have met or had the opportunity to meet everybody, right? And
Yeah, I mean, a lot of
Joe's
people.
right there, right?
Yeah,
Joe's
absolutely.
Yeah.
They didn't ask anybody else to make a video.
There you go.
That's right, yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I didn't ask anybody else. I asked him.
Well, I don't want to say, but thank you, Stevie.
They say don't meet your heroes. I tell them no.
I've had the opportunity to work with you a couple times. I did $100,000 Pyramid
Yep.
a couple times, and then I had the most nerve-wracking interview of my life. I was on GMA with him when I was talking about my book, Where's Barry? And I wasn't even ready to really go in. And they're like, yeah, come in. And I went in and they're like, okay, go. And I almost said hello to him. And I was so nervous. I don't know if you remember this. I was so nervous. You introduced me and I clapped for myself. And I went, yeah, we're here. And he went, and he called me out on television. And he goes, you don't clap for yourself.
Well, it was a little unusual.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a little
Yeah, but you're a
unusual,
comedian, so you can
That's
clap
true.
for yourself.
I get away with some stuff, I'm sure.
Michael, have you been to a lot of comedy shows? Or I mean, here in the city, there's so many.
Yeah.
Who's somebody you appreciate in life?
Oh, man, I appreciate all comedians. I mean, I've gone to see from Chris Rock to Chris Tucker to Jerry Seinfeld, Amy Schumer. I mean, I went to see Dave Chappelle, Jeffrey Ross.
Yeah.
Man, like
All the heavy
all
hitters,
of them,
yeah.
you know,
That's great.
and so I appreciate comedians because I understand it's so hard to stand in front of a room with a group of people you don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
You may never see again. I don't know what their day is like. You don't know what their day
Sure,
is like.
sure.
You don't know what mood they come in there in, and you have to entertain them.
Yeah.
Like, and kind of change the vibe of the whole room just by your words and by your mannerisms.
Yeah.
That's like amazing to me. Like sports, you go out there and you hit somebody. Hey, you get excited.
He's the greatest.
Yeah, he's the greatest. Look at
sure.
her. You can take their aggression out through you. But in comedy, I don't have that nerve.
Yeah.
To do
I think
that.
we're like instantaneous, right? It's instantly occurring, but you're, being on like GMA, for example, like you're coming off and they're watching metrics instantly, I'm sure, and seeing dials go up and down.
yeah.
So that's got to be equally as nerve-wracking, if not more, because we're doing it in front of a crowd of, hundreds to thousands, but you're millions.
Yeah.
I don't even think
on a
about it,
daily
though.
baþesis.
I think if you think about how many people are watching, it screws me up. Like there'll be some time in the middle of reading something, and then I'll think, "Oh my God, there are millions!" And then all of a sudden, I forget how to read.
You start clapping.
Yeah, I thought
Clap for yourself. I'm doing great. I'm Michael Strahan. He's like a seal. They come back to him. He's like,
in the latest presidential debate, yes. So, but yeah, I can't think about it, and I
Right.
can't pay attention to it. I can't look at social media comments. Like I used to sit there on the show, and and when I'm not reading a story, looking at Twitter or whatever, Twitter at the time, but X now,
Right.
and it could mess you up
For sure.
Right.
So now I don't pay attention to any of it. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, and I always just do my best and let that be it. And I learned in football, caring about the opinion of people who can't do what you do sometimes.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
like why am am I worried about the opinion of somebody who couldn't put on a pad? Like your mom took you trick or treating. That's the last time you had a uniform on. Like, why am I letting you control my feelings about how I feel about myself on the field?
My mother had like the greatest saying, and it always stuck with me. Was don't take criticism. Don't take criticism from people you wouldn't go to advice for.
Yeah.
So like that, I think that's huge. Like
My mom, 3 words. You not funny. Stuck with me forever.
Yeah.
Stuck with me forever.
Well, you stayed true to her word, so I love that.
I can't clap for myself. I cannot clap for myself.
Do
I
it.
can't.
Yeah, there you go.
You did
got it. You're not funny. You're not funny. That's great. Yeah.
I want to ask you, Michael. I just did you ever see this career trajectory?
Yeah, it's crazy. Right?
The way from being under the limelight here in New York, I think that's probably where you get that last. If you can't put on the pads here in New York, the glare it cripples so many people that have come over here, and then to go to make the transition from that to where you are now. I mean, did you ever think?
Absolutely. No.
Yeah?
I actually, amazingly enough, and some people might disagree, but if I'm actually a shy person, I really am.
Yeah.
And I like my friends. I love my friends. I love my family. I love like people I'm comfortable with. But in the street, when I walk down the street and people are yelling, some people want to be like, yeah, I'm in the spot. Like, I'm here, let everybody know. I just want to kind of slide in, sit down.
Which is hard for
observe,
you.
eat.
Yeah.
They see you coming.
Well, not even that. It's like, oh, you're tall. I'm like, no, it's the gap. Like, I can't go anywhere. At one point, I had to think I would slide in to make it look like I had straight teeth. But then people were like, we know what you're doing, man. So I just gave it up. What the hell? It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I never saw it because I was always kind of shy and quiet. And in college, kind of like the laid back, quiet guy. And then here in New York, I mean, the city's overwhelming, especially when you come here as a 21-year-old kid. And then I just kind of developed. And when you got a camera in your face every day as a football player and ask you questions.
Sure.
And I kind of developed, I guess, the skills of being in front of a camera from that. And then it took away the fear, I guess, of being in front of a camera, but it didn't take away my shyness. So in front of a camera, I'm an extroverted, but I'm introvert.
Yeah,
sure.
Away from it, which is a weird thing.
If we stopped recording right now, he wouldn't say another word.
Nope.
Just sit there.
He just Blair Witches himself. He goes in the corner, just stands there until you're ready. He just comes out.
That? Didn't it say like John Legend when the cameras go off, he turns off?
Yeah, power down. Yeah. What was your growing up? What was the fam like? Were you surrounded by a family of introverts, extroverts?
No, I'm the youngest of 6, man. I was, and my brothers and sisters were great. I had a great upbringing. Dad was in the military, retired major in the Army, paratrooper, 82nd Airborne Division.
Really
mom
didn't do
was
lazy. Didn't do much.
Didn't do nothing. He was a master jumper. And like everything, any kind of way you can jump out of something, he had to do it. Helicopters, airplanes, climbing on wings, out the back, out the front of it, the side of it, whatever. And he said he did it because they paid him like $15 extra a month.
Well, you got to do what you got to do, man.
Yeah.
He's a Tom Cruise. He's a Tom Cruise.
$15 extra a month?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He could have died. But for him, it was worth it. He did it.
Yeah.
And, but like growing up with a dad who was an overachiever like that, coming from where he came from, he was never you couldn't have an excuse. There was no excuse for anything.
Sure.
You couldn't say, I can't.
He just counts out $15 in front of you. He's like, I just jumped off an aircraft carrier. Here you go. Here's $15 for your excuses. Yeah.
But I grew up in a great household, great brothers and sisters. Being the youngest was where I needed to be because I could see everybody else's mess ups.
Yeah, I love that.
Sure.
And
learn from
then
it.
figure out my way and figure out that I wanted to go make my own path.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Get through everybody's mix-ups.
Yeah.
I have two older sisters, so I was the baby boy, which was good. But you're the older brother, right? So,
I'm the older brother,
So you were the troublemaker.
Yeah, it was like, I always feel bad for like a little brother or anybody, like the youngest, for example. Like, because, I'd get He-Man, he'd have to get Skeletor. Like, you never get to do
He's
the
attached
cool.
to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. For sure. Yeah.
But being the youngest of 6, though, I mean, it was great because you kind of like, it is true though. By the time your parents got to number 6, like, I got a free pass on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then I ended up being the one probably closest to my parents at the end of the day because all my brothers and sisters were older and brothers out running the streets, sisters were moved away. And I was 13 years old, sitting at home with my parents,
Yeah.
nerdy kid.
Yeah.
And every Friday after work, we go to dinner at this place called Xenia Grill in Germany. I grew up and we moved to Germany when I was 9.
Wow.
And
Germany, the country?
in the country, yeah.
Oh, wow.
No, Germany, the
Germany,
upstate
New Jersey.
Germany, New York, Germany, Jersey.
Great, yeah.
But I moved to Germany when I was 9 years old. And Germany was great growing up because we moved there. I lived on a military base the first 3 years of it. And then after that, my dad retired, and then we moved off base. So we lived in the community for 15 years after that. So we went over there. I was 9, and by the time my parents moved back to the States, I was 28 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was in the league and living in New York for 7 years at that point.
Wow.
But yeah, so it was an interesting way to grow up. It taught me that you have to respect people for people and customs of different countries and like a respect for everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you're not always the boss. I mean, as Americans, I think sometimes we think we run
Right,
everything,
right.
but we don't.
Yeah.
You got to adhere to other rules and other people. And it taught me that you get along with everybody. When you're on a military base, and it doesn't matter what race you are, how much where you come from, money, nothing matters. We are Americans. We have to stick together and judge people from people. So growing up in Germany was an incredible experience. I wouldn't change for anything. I think it helped me in sports. It helps me now in life and work because
You speak German?
yeah, a little bit.
Ah.
I can order us food and drinks. We won't starve and die of thirst.
Down to it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm good enough.
Good enough. That's
Good
nice.
enough.
Yeah.
Who did you go to for advice?
Growing up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
my dad was the best.
Yeah.
I didn't have to go to him for advice. He just gave it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You will hear this.
He demanded
He
it.
demanded
yeah,
it.
I'm telling you, this is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, my dad was the best though. He was an amazing man, and he was very positive, always positive.
Yeah.
My dad was the only person I knew who would buy. He always had the computers and the latest stuff, and he would literally sit on the toilet and read the whole computer manual.
Really?
Yeah, and you're like, Dad, I got to go in the bathroom. Come on in, son. He's just sitting there like, you've been here for hours. Your legs have to be asleep. There's just no way. It cannot be that interesting to read a computer manual.
The legs falling asleep
Ugh.
in the middle of the night. I sleep with 8 dogs, right? So when I walk back, this happened to me last night. So last night I misjudged where like I had.
Did you
only
ever
have enough
Did you ever
steps
think
to
how
get
your
to it.
wife would hear that? I sleep with 8 dogs.
How she would? Oh no.
Do you
How
have
she
a
would-
custom bed or is it like a...
No, it's a king bed. They're all small old dogs, but they all have their spot. But I came back last night. And
They're all dying, by the way.
Yeah,
too.
they're all like.
So these aren't
seniors,
like
yeah.
cute dogs.
Yeah,
they're all like
They're all
you know
like on
you know
their
when they
last
get the like the
mark.
blue eyes and
Yeah.
they're blind and they're kind of like
We have
snaggle
a senior
tooth,
dog rescue.
heaving,
They're like
hard of
the
breathing.
uglier they are, the more my wife loves them. But they're so I got to sleep legs.
It worked in her
bed-
marriage.
Bingo. So I'm walking back and the legs are asleep. And I misjudged how many steps I had left before they started laughing. And I was coming in on one of the dogs. I was like, move. I pancaked one of them last night. I felt so
now
bad.
you're sleeping with 7 dogs.
7
tonight.
dogs. 7
Yeah.
dogs.
Right.
That one dog's like, I'm off the bed. Forget it. Here comes this fat idiot. Yeah. So the legs falling asleep, I hate. That's one of my pet peeves
Yeah.
of being
But
old. getting older.
your father was very tech savvy then, I assume.
He was pretty tech savvy. Pretty tech savvy. I mean, for whatever was new at the time, he was up on it.
Oh, that's
but he was
good.
also the first person I ever knew who paid $100 for a pair of shoes.
Really?
Yes, and my mom was pissed.
Yeah.
He went and paid $100 for a pair of New Balance running shoes.
Right.
But the catch was they would resole the shoe anytime the tread wore off for life.
So
He got his $100.
He got- yeah, he got shoes for
absolutely.
life. That's
He used to
great.
jog and run around and like he got his money's worth. But back then in like the 80s, my mom's like, "Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you freaking paying $100 for shoes?"
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
But he got his money's worth.
That's
out
some
of it.
deal, man.
Yeah.
And then your mom, was she a homemakery kind of mom? Or
Yeah,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
Yeah, she did like mostly like
My mom did everything. My mom coached us and my brother Victor and I in basketball, and we won a championship.
Really?
She was the coach?
Yeah,
Oh, that's so
my
cool.
mom was the coach. Yeah, she was a heck of a
Wow.
basketball player. Coached us in basketball. When my mom used to drive forklifts and all that stuff on the base, like Mom, serious, don't mess with her.
Wow.
Lee Strahan will hurt you. And then she loved the Autobahn. And we would be we'd just be her and I in the car. She'd be flying over 100 easily.
Yeah.
On a forklift?
Those German forklifts, man, they got the motors in them. The Volkswagen forklift can really kick in.
Yeah, that little hybrid forklift, man, kick in.
Yeah, it had New Balance gears. Do his New Balance shreds on it.
Brings it all together.
But she would like
great.
fly home, and then we get home. She's like, "Don't you tell your dad we were going to that date."
yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, yeah."
That's crazy.
But mom is something else, and she's down in Houston, 83 years old.
Wow.
Doing great.
That's great.
And still driving around doing her thing, man.
Still going 100 miles an hour on the Houston Expressway.
Yeah.
That's great.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. At all.
That's so cool. Yeah, I've my mother was very much like my mother and father didn't do the don't tell your mother, don't tell your father much.
Sure.
But I remember there was one time my mom got pulled over by the police. And she didn't get the ticket. She got out of the ticket. And she said, well, I don't want to go into great detail, but hands were involved and promises were made. So I don't want to get into details, Michael.
No.
I don't want to get into details. But promises were made. And
Okay. All right.
Dad worked late. So we come home and then she'd take me. I would know because she would take me to go get like ice cream. She's like, yo, let's get ice cream. And she's like, and we're not going to tell Dad about the policeman today. I'm like, yeah, or tomorrow.
I got to tell you, Michael's how might be my favorite moment of the show we've ever had. That was
It was
great.
a legitimate question.
It was.
I'm a journalist.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Curious.
Curious. No, you're spot on, buddy.
So I'm curious, like being a comedian though, right? When you're on stage, when you're trying to entertain people, how do you do it? You get heckled ever?
Not really. I don't deal with much heckling. I shut it down pretty quick.
Yeah,
I'm known. My fans that come out to see me know that I'm kind of bold and brazen. So I think a lot of people are just like
afraid.
They're kind of afraid they do. But I'm also very inviting and nice. Like I'm not really one of those guys that goes at people. I just did tell somebody shut the fuck up this weekend though.
Oh really?
Remember this weekend? Yeah, this weekend.
What did they do?
They killed a punchline for me. I was setting up a bit, and I was just about to get the punchline. And he was like, "You should have told him to suck it like Captain Fat Belly." That's what he said. And I went, "That's what you're gonna do?" And I said, "How about you try to shut the fuck up?" And everybody like started laughing. And I felt bad because I don't like doing that, but. That's the only time I don't really get heckled much. You deal with it all the time. He's wow! Oh my God, he gets heckled like all the time because he's just so bad. He
had the heckle face.
He does have a heckle face. He invites it. He'll sit there and then he always wins. He's the best.
No, I love crowd work. I love to start the show off by doing crowd work. Mm-hmm. So I like to kind of get in there, and I think after 25 years of doing this, anything you hear. It's just kind of like you're just kind of cool in the pocket. Like everything moves in slow motion.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the computer just takes over, and you're like, I reflexively just know what to say.
Yeah.
And I think the key was always to understand, like you can never. I had a horrible lesson early on about letting your emotions get the best of you, and the minute you get emotional as a comedian, and you communicate to the audience that this person got under your skin, you're no longer a professional comedian. You're just like one of them, and you lose the room.
Yeah.
And my lesson was you cannot ever show your emotions that way. You've got to be smarter than anybody in this room and figure out the Rubik's Cube pretty quickly. And win and make sure you keep it calm, steady, but most importantly, you got to find the laugh. You just have to find the laugh. Because I don't think I ever told you the story. I was at the comic strip on the Upper East Side. It was my birthday, and I was like, I'm gonna work on this new bit, not go out tonight because I was so disciplined, very Asian. I was very Korean to get my work done, and I as I'm doing this late night set at the comic strip, these like 5 mooks get up. And they're discussing the tab, right?
In front of you during your set?
And there's maybe 12 people in the room. It's like 12 in the morning. And I'm like, guys, can you just take it outside? And they go, whatever, Jackie Chan. And I'm like, oh God, here we go. And I go, well, thank God thank God the bridges and tunnels are open 24/7. We're going back and forth, Jersey Shore, Korean. And then this girl goes, why don't you shut the fuck up? And I go, why isn't somebody? Hey, I go, what? One of you guys, you're gonna cut this.
Why do you gotta hear it now?
Well, okay, you can beep it. Why doesn't somebody tell that? Just shut the fuck up. And so I drop a C-bomb, and next thing I know, the guy takes a chair and whizzes it across the. And this is the comic strip. These chairs were not made at IKEA. They're heavy steel, like from the '60s. Chucked it, and by the time I see it coming, I turn around and it gashed the back of my head open. So I had 8 staples. So if I shave my head, you'll see like a huge gash back
like Frankenstein.
Yeah, you could still. I mean, when I get my hair
I've
cut,
seen
anyways,
it. I didn't want to bring it up.
So, so I got 8 staples in the back of my head. The cops call me up the next day. Do you want to press charges? And I said no, because this is my lesson. I should have been better than the situation. And if I consider myself a professional comedian, I can't be in situations like this. So I took it upon myself to just be like, I have to be accountable. I have to get this right. And I'm telling you, if that didn't happen, who knows what the lesson would have been, but it was a severe lesson for me to be like, all right, get your shit together.
Probably would have, you would have pressed charges. The lesson would have probably been, you need to come back and kick your ass.
He throw a table. He throw a table the next time.
I know where he works.
I'll find him. Yeah.
I get the
But
good
that's
fella stomp, you know.
But that's a heck of a lesson, though. Like just the thought of that, like I got to stay above it all.
Right.
And I love the way you say it slows down. Because that was like football to me.
I was going to say that your emotions got to get it on the adrenaline flowing.
You know, it's like at a first initial, you're like, you're in the locker room, getting the guys going. And when I used to get there, I used to listen to different music. Like I'd be pulling up, I'm listening to Smooth. It's like Sade on, Alicia Keys,
Bjork.
Somebody cut you up. Fuck you, motherfucker. If you leave me now, you take away. Fuck you, man.
Well, hold on. Making my way downtown.
I'll miss you. He's hitting somebody.
I'm in the car like this, and the fans are looking at me pulling to the stadium. Oh, he's fired up. No, I'm just.
I got my Vanessa Carlton on, baby. Let's go.
Little Debbie Gibson, I got it all going, right?
I love that.
So, but I would start out like that.
Yeah.
And then the closer I got to game time, like the music would get a little harder and deeper and darker.
Yep.
And then by the end of it, it was like Snoop Dogg.
You're right.
It's
Debbie the DMX. It goes the whole round.
Ready to kill anybody.
Yeah.
But then once you get out there, like you're jacked up. But once you get hit once, or you hit somebody once, it's like, okay. It's
Right.
And then it slowed. It was like,
then you're playing the game.
Like watching bears dance in slow motion. Like it was, like it's so fast. You watch the film the next day, and I go, oh my God, I can't believe I moved that quick.
Right.
That I closed that gap down that fast, or I caught this guy. Like you couldn't believe it, but in the moment, it just felt like, do that.
I want to ask you one last thing though, real quick. What was that process like? Because someone like yourself going from college into professional, being a professional athlete, and everything's regimented. Every aspect's regimented throughout the course of your life. Even in the summer, you got to train, whatever. Yeah. And the minute you cut the leash, and you're kind of on your own, how difficult is it, minus the camaraderie of being with the boys and just, not being so disciplined with, you could eat anything you want. You can just do it. How was that transition really hard for you? Was it easy for you?
It's difficult.
Yeah.
I knew when I retired, I already had to deal with Fox, NFL with Fox. I'd actually signed the deal the year before. And then they said, whenever you're ready to retire, we just pull out the drawer and pick it up from then.
Oh, wow.
So, but I signed the deal. We put it in the drawer, and we won the Super Bowl against the undefeated Patriots. I'm like, we can't outdo that.
You can't top that.
It would be nice to go back for a victory tour for 1 year, but it requires me to get beat up for victory. No,
let's open the drawer.
I was tired.
You do stand up at the comic strip. You get beat up there.
You get beat up there.
He's like, good to see you again.
Here, catch a chick. So, but it was I was just tired. So it was a difficult transition because everyone thinks now they look and they go, oh, I already get all the time. Oh, yeah, it's an easy, simple transition. It was seamless. I'm like, no,
man, not at all.
Even though I was on Fox and I'm doing that show for the first month or so, I was scared shitless.
Right.
Like,
because it's a whole different venture.
It's a whole different venture. Yeah. They just throw you in there. It's not like they teach you how to do it.
Right.
I didn't know what a
played football.
rundown
Yeah,
was. I didn't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I'm just basically skating week to week
Right.
and hoping I don't screw it up, trying to talk the least as I can, because the least you talk, the least less you can make it mess up.
Right.
And so, but it was like tough. And then all of a sudden, I just figured it out in one incident that happened. I messed up and I learned not to do this. Never say, I got 3 things or 2 things. I got 4 things. Never give a number. I messed around and gave a number.
Right.
I got 3 things. I went to the first one. Okay.
One's good.
Went to the second one. Okay. I went to the third one. It was not there. I had no.
Done, yeah.
It was gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, in a moment of panic, I just started acting like I was choking. Started coughing. And then Howie picked it up and Terry picked it up. And then while they're doing that, it came back to me and I said, thank you guys. And then I picked up. And in my own head, I said, oh crap, okay, you got this now.
That's what you needed.
Yeah, I needed that
that was your chair to
moment
the head. That was your chair to the head.
That was my chair to the head moment
Right.
to be like, oh, relax, you got this now.
Yeah.
And now I absolutely love it. And it is my locker room. But it was tough because you're so used to the physical part of that job. Like there's nothing more gratifying to me than it was like seeing this 300 and something pound guy. Like if I saw him in street clothes on the street or before the game,
Right.
and like getting off the bus, I'd be like, oh God, how big is that guy? But the second that music started switching over and my mind,
Yeah.
my frame of mind started to change, and once I put on those shoulder pads,
Boom, done. Yeah.
you
Go to
boy,
work.
you ain't big. You ain't, I'm the biggest one here. I'm the baddest one here. So that transition is what I missed.
Yeah.
But you get over it. The further away you are from the game as far as playing, the more away from it, the less you miss it. Like I watch guys and I'll go to a game here and there. I went to the Giants Thursday night game and we'll go to one game or so. We'll do the Super Bowl this year actually. And I'll be on the sideline going, oh man, that national anthem plays and that's like Pavlov dog because I start pacing, and then I realized, one hit and I'm done.
I'm not wearing this suit and I'm not wearing the pads, right?
Like literally, my knee was hurting just laying in bed. There's no way I can actually make a cut and hit somebody.
So on Two Cool Moms, we get some fan-submitted dilemmas. We try to give them some advice as we can.
Okay.
Our producer, Mark, goes through it diligently. And he...
Mark, are these real? You make them up yourself on your free
I'm
time?
typing them as we go because right now the episode's 3 minutes. All right, so we have some fun ones. We had some fun questions and we have some dilemmas. We'll jump in first with the fun one that came from the Instagram. Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to speak to animals?
Oh.
I know what you would do.
Well, that's an assumption just because I have dogs.
He'd be yelling at a dog.
Move!
Get
Get off me, Dad! I'm under you. Speaking animals would be good, but I mean, speaking every language, you could really do some damage in life. You'd be unbeatable in any business. You could talk to anyone. What a salesperson you'd be.
Yeah.
Nobody could get one over on you.
I
Right?
would love to go in somebody's spots and just look stupid, like I don't know what they're talking about, and then
Put a
hit them
map.
back with it.
Yeah.
That's always been a dream, man. Makes me want to learn some languages. Languages for me.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever somebody's opinion of you really is doesn't matter. Like I feel like that with a dog. Like
Yeah.
I don't really want to know what a dog. I go somewhere and I see an animal.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go. I went to Africa. I don't want to look at a lion and know what he's thinking.
I'm going to eat you.
You
better
Eat
move.
you or he's going to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're looking for food. They're mating. I'd like to hear them, like what they talk about when they're mating. I think that'd be funny. Like during mating season, what the birds actually say.
That's what you
This is
got
what I'm working
out of
with.
this. Honestly, I'm thinking like Dr. Doolittle, like you're trying to help animals. You're like, what is he saying when they're mating?
More fingers.
More fingers.
Use your paw. Use your paw.
Yeah,
Like,
more
what?
feathers.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
You're a sick man. You're a sick man.
I tried to lock him in the bathroom.
That's what you got. I'm over here trying to be, be Dr. Doolittle. You can help animals.
Yeah.
I learned all the languages. Then I'd go to the UK and I'd go to Scotland and Ireland.
You've ever listened to that?
No,
You
that
would
would
go
be
to those
cool.
places to talk to animals.
I want to see what these kangaroos are getting into. Yeah. The animal talking, I feel like you might be disappointed because if they're not thinking anything,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
sitting there being
Yeah.
like ribbit. You listen to the frogs and they're just saying ribbit.
World traveler. It would inspire you to travel more.
Yeah, make you get out
100%.
more.
It gets right. It completely removes a huge barrier to entry about travel. Like
Yes.
you could go
Oh,
and
yeah.
understand people. I think
You
I
can
would go
live
there.
anywhere. You
Yeah.
can, yeah.
I
You
go
can
there.
hear what the French are actually saying about you.
Yeah. What do you speak?
I speak. I used to speak a little Korean when I was younger.
Okay.
and then I trailed off, and then I studied it again in college, and it was a great way to reconnect with my mom. And again, a language is just like anything; you got to keep up with it,
Yeah.
right? It's just like
So you don't speak Korean anymore.
I don't speak anything.
So you speak English. The
I
answer
speak-
was I speak English.
You said, "Do I speak English?" You looked at me like I'm a moron.
Well,
Do you
yeah.
speak any other language?
I just the curse words my mom used to yell at me in Italian. That's all I got. That and I don't speak anything besides English.
But you're
A little,
you're obviously
a little
German.
bit.
Yeah, but just mostly foods.
A little German. Yeah, food, drinks, and curse words.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I like all good languages. That's how most like.
Okay, what's one language you'd love to learn?
I mean, I really would like to learn Italian. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would love it. I don't know how much it would help me in the world, but I think Italian would be nice to know because
But if you travel to Italy, you don't really need to know it, right? I mean, they're pretty,
pasta, pasta. That's
but they're
all I
very
do.
welcoming of
Yeah, for
Americans, and I think they're,
Yeah.
I think most countries you go to,
Yeah.
they speak a lot of. I was shocked when I went to China, Japan, Korea, like on USO tours, and they all spoke English.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, wow, it's very fascinating that, like, here we are again. To your point, like we take it for granted, like we're Americans. It's like, well, I'd love to know a few different languages and be that welcoming to other.
Yeah. But then but I think there are some countries too that they probably speak English, but they're like, no, I'm going to make you suffer.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you should learn the language.
Yeah,
And there's no fault of there. I mean,
Sure,
it's kind of
yeah.
our thing. You go somewhere, you should learn how to spell to know the language. But I do like those new phones. I just saw a commercial the other day.
Yes.
Oh,
That
yeah.
one that flips up and it's like two-sided screen, and you can say something and it translates to them and it translates back
Yeah.
to you.
Pretty cool.
I'm like, but lazy
I'm not
man,
bored.
a non-other language speaking lazy man's dream. All right, that was genius.
You know what? I do speak every language now. I'm
Yeah,
speaking
we
that phone.
do.
Actually, that's a bad question.
Well, hell, let me talk to animals then. There
I
we
know.
go.
Switch that. He's walking up to the dog. Do you have to go outside?
All right, we'll jump back in. Kevin sent us an email. He said, looking at all the work you've done, what do you think your mom is most proud of you for?
Oh, that's good.
That's interesting.
So, what would my mom be most proud of?
I think he
The
means his
fact
career.
that
right?
I think my mom is most proud of that I didn't have to move back home.
Ah.
You know, that was always my thing. I don't want to move back home.
Right.
I don't want to live with my parents my whole life.
Right.
You know, that was a big step.
When did you get out?
I moved. I left when I went to Houston for half of my senior year to live with my uncle to play 1 year football in high school.
okay.
I was 16, and then when I left for 17, that was it.
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had
so-
any other siblings moved back home?
Oh, yeah,
and
all
that
of
set
them.
the precedent.
Yeah, I
or
got a
is that
whole
what
house
you-
full of them.
Yeah. Okay.
I got
Even the uncle moved back.
uncle too. Hey, bring him
I
on.
said, come on. Yeah.
You know, I got my
Ask it for a
oldest.
friend. What's the address? I'm just saying.
My oldest brother lives in Italy.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's been there for years. And the other ones seem to be back in Houston at home,
Yeah.
chilling. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you buy mom a house, I guess you buy it for the family.
Apparently, yeah. You can't say none. You didn't buy him. Everybody lives here.
If Jasmine don't worry, cut. Don't leave it in there. I want them to see it.
They need to know. They need to know.
You need to know.
There's your camera, Michael.
You're grown.
Camera 3.
Men, get out.
Get out.
How can you take a date home?
I love it. What do you think? What would you say about yours?
Excluding children, I
Yeah.
would say my mom and dad. I think when I had the sitcom, and I had a sitcom where I went back home and took over a bar with my parents, and Dan Lauria played a version of my father, and Jody Long played a version of my mom. And I'll never forget when they came to the pilot at Warner Brothers, and they're in the audience, and I'm walking them around, and they're hearing their names via these actors, and that was one of those things where my mom was just kind of like, I could get emotional talking about it right now, but she was like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, it was one of those surreal things, and it was like to know that they were my two bringers, because at open mics you have to bring two people to pay for you. when you first started.
And you were that
for
guy.
a year, they were my
there for
bringers
you.
in New York City.
Oh, wow.
And they came to every open mic. They'd pay. They'd sit through 3 hours of comedy, and then to like see that all come like full circle and have them there. That was like one of those kind of like
That's really cool.
yeah.
Well,
that was a
damn,
special
you
moment.
make my answer suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I
No,
mean,
no,
I get that though. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
because your
different.
parents have seen it from the beginning. Mine have too. So
Yeah.
to like be inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame,
That's gotta
and to
be-
have my
To see your dreams realized
parents
is a
there,
thing. Yeah.
and then I got a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and I have my mom there, my family and friends there. Like all that stuff is like crazy because I kind of do stuff and I move on. You know, for me, it's kind of like, okay, I did it, keep on moving. I believe if I get stuck thinking about what I've done, I can't move forward.
Right.
So it's kind of like a gift and a curse to be able to like move on from stuff because sometimes someone will remind me of something really cool that happened.
Yep.
And I'll go, oh yeah, that was pretty amazing. I forgot I even did it.
Right.
Or
Right.
we did that together. But being at the Hall of Fame and being up there on stage and giving a speech and seeing my mom, my dad, my kids and friends and family all in one section, just looking up.
Yeah.
And that was like the most special moment. And I mean, the TV stuff has been great. Awards there have been great, but it's nothing like the whole football side of my life.
Yeah.
And to have that
right.
so early on too, because I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that election I mean, to be, to be anointed so early on, post career, I should say post career early on, right?
Yeah.
Because some guys, they're struggling to get up on stage sometimes. They have these poignant speeches, but the fact that you're still I mean, you look like you could still play now.
Yeah, that ain't happening. We talk about that. That ain't happening. It's all about the look. You know what? Yeah, I'm on TV every day, and I got the kind of friends that will, let you know if you ain't looking right. I don't
really?
need my friends blowing up my phone. You look like you just gave up,
yeah.
man. What's going on?
Well, I remember
Yeah.
with Jokers.
I wonder what that's like.
Oh, it was very real because it's very real. I tell you all the time that you're getting a little bit less. Yeah, you're getting a little bit less.
Some of these guys, they tell me we were on tour together in the UK, and
Not
I was
some
on,
of these guys. Q said it. I
Q
didn't
said-
say it. Don't jump in.
No, you look. Some of the things you said. Anyways, I was on a big screen in the O2 Arena. I come off end of the tour because every night somebody else wants to go out drinking, and I'll go out drinking every night.
Yeah.
And then he'll rest, and then you don't drink, but then the last night I'm all like. I guess Q said I was like sweaty and I look like bloated. And I come off, he goes, hey man. I go, hey, I go, have a great show. He goes, yeah, I just want to tell you something. You might want to tone it down. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he took me out like 7 of the nights. He goes, you look slimy. I was like, slimy? Slimy? I've never even heard like somebody, like a frog or a toad is
I've never
slimy.
heard
Like I'm a
human
human
called
being.
slimy.
Yeah.
I know
Unless
I'm
you're
an
like
Asian 7, but goddamn, like give me a little credit.
6.
A bloated
had-
Elon Musk. I've gotten that. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's try to help somebody.
Okay, all right. So Shane's got a dilemma. Shane's in the UK, apropos. Hey guys, I recently found out I'm going to be a dad for the first time. I'm
Congrats.
43 years old. As excited as I am, I'm also very nervous. I have all sorts of things going through my head, and I'm trying to get out a lot of anxiety. I don't want to feel this way. I know a lot of people say becoming a parent is the best thing in the world, and I want to feel that way too. I'm sure any advice from the moms would help ease my anxiety. Love the show. From Shane from the UK.
How old is Shane?
43.
43. Wow.
Wow, got in the game late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I had my first kid at
fourth quarter.
39.
Sorry?
I had my first kid at 39.
39?
The biggest thing, and I say this to a lot of new dads, we get this kind of stuff a lot, but I think the biggest thing is that you're not going to get it right, and nobody knows the right way to do it. I think you just need to do the best you can.
Yeah.
Because your comparison is going to be the worst enemy. I think you compare a lot of the way it is, and if you had a good dad, if you try to emulate that as best you can, like it sounds like my dad was great. Like if you have a good dad, if you try to emulate that, I think that's your best roadmap to success.
I think being 43 too, you really know who you are. You have a great sense of your identity. So I think you're going to be a lot more comfortable as a parent, as opposed to being 23 and still kind of finding your voice and your identity in the world. So I think he's got a lot more. He's got a lot less to be nervous about.
Yep.
I think.
Yeah, because I think he has probably security that you don't have when you're young and a lot of other things. And I do agree with you. They don't come with a manual.
Right.
And then you have the baby, and next thing you know, a day or two, you're at home with this little baby going, I figure this thing out.
Right.
Yeah.
But do the best you can. Love them. And there's a responsibility to it all because you realize the way and things that they're going to learn, or the way in which they treat people and how they are in society in a lot of ways, is dependent on how you raise them. Because I do things that my dad did, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I never thought I'd pick up on that.
Right.
Yeah.
And even some things I don't like that my dad did, and I would go, oh gosh, I said that just like he would say that.
Right.
You just
What
just
happened?
telling them advice before they ask for it.
But it made me realize, though, how much of an influence you have on your kids, even when you think they're not watching. So,
Right.
it's a great responsibility, though. Being a father is like the biggest joy that you can have in your life, and makes you realize in a lot of ways something special about being on this planet is passing along something from yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I will say though, at 43, Shane, clock's ticking.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to make sure you make some impact, because
I mean, this guy's not throwing the baseball with his son. We'll just put that out right there.
I just want
I got a rotator cuff. I got my elbow
yeah.
is just.
I'll watch you hit it off the tee
I'll be vocal.
from a lawn chair. Yeah,
You two are awful. You young man, 43, you're okay. You'll be fine.
I'm just saying.
When you go to graduation from high school, they will not say, oh, you brought your grandfather. No, they will say you brought your father.
Yeah. Make sure you wear a name tag that says "I'm the dad."
Yeah, I'm there. Daddy's here.
Daddy's here.
Okay.
Good. Mike's like,
What
next.
who else can we solve a problem for?
See, a
Keep
lot of it is
bringing 'em.
good. A lot of it was good. Our success
I
rate.
want to do another quick one here. This is another would you rather. Would you rather have the ability to see 10 minutes into the future or 150 years into the future?
Oh, 10 minutes into the future, 150
10 minutes
years?
or 150
I'm not a gambler, so I'd say 150 years
Yeah.
into the future. I'm always fascinated with those books where they detail what will happen 100 years from now. I'd love to know, do we have flying cars yet? And
Right.
are we civilized on Mars? I'd love to know those things. And I hope I get to live long enough to see those things. But I know you.
I mean,
You
at
love
a
the
craps
dice.
table, I would love to know what's going on in 10 minutes. I think I would use the 10 minutes for evil, though, so I'd be worried about that. I think I would want it to go the 150. But the 10 minutes, you could definitely affect your life in a bigger impact, but I feel like the temptation would be too big to know. You're going to know when you'll be dead. Like,
I know.
at 9 minutes, you're like, it's just see black. You're like, wait a minute.
I think, the anxiety of 10 minutes. 10 minutes gives me, I'm thinking about, if I can see 10 minutes, it gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
If I can see 150 years,
Yeah.
but I need to see all 150, like I can go, okay, take me out in 5 years. I want to be able to see the whole linear 150.
yeah.
Because that way, I'll be like, yo, kids, this is what we're going to buy. Like, to get this stock, this company's going to be hot. In 150 years, the family's like the Rockefellers, the Strahans. We're on every building. We're
For sure.
everywhere.
I would say the 150, it's got to be linear. That's a big thing for me. Imagine you just get to see what happens in one. You don't know how we got there. I want to know how we got
I
there.
wouldn't know how we got there.
Yeah, for sure.
You get to 150 and it's just Earth is just a crater because climate change actually did envelop. Who knows?
There's
And
just
then
one-
you're pissed. You're like, damn it, I should have went back, started, lived
Yeah, yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
So I
90.
could see
Yeah.
when it was still here.
Just see like a frog on a rock in 150 years. Like, what?
But 10 minutes, what would you do if you saw like 10 minutes? What do you think you would see in 10? Like, think about 10 minutes from now.
I go right to a casino. I go right to a casino and I make it the Gatto Rockefeller situation in 10 minutes at a craps table. Know what's coming up. Forget it. That's where
it's
my
a
mind went
short-term-
first. I would also probably say, I would like, if I don't want to see like the end of a game, no offense to the athlete, but sometimes it gets a little boring at the end. And I want to be
Hell, I'm bored watching them too. So
I just want to be like, who won? Okay, got it. You know, but I think the 10 minutes in my mind went right to like a casino or
Gambling,
a thing, a gambling where you could see.
yeah,
an
because you
outcome.
can't buy a lotto ticket 10 minutes before it's
No,
announced.
no.
Because that way I can do it. I don't even have to go to a casino. I just knock it out from home on the couch with an app.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, the app would be great.
Oh, 10 minutes, man. I wouldn't even tell people. I wouldn't tell anybody I could see 10 minutes. I would just start naming stuff. Oh, wait, watch out. You may trip.
Yeah.
Let them go down. I always have my phone ready.
You would go viral with all your clips. You're like, trust me. Why are you filming that old lady? Trust me. It's going to be great. The only other thing about 10 minutes would be I would invite a lot of people I don't like to dinner and then ruin the end of everybody's stories. Like when they're telling their big stories, like, be like, yeah. And then they came home. Why'd you go? Shut up, Tim. You know what I mean? I think that'd be evil too. So I think I have to go with 150 years to keep myself nice.
To ruin their stories.
Sorry,
It's
yeah.
so funny.
Great.
Yeah, I would love to use it for like election night or something.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
10 minutes.
Yeah, I'd be like the new Nate Silver.
10 minutes before you.
How do you know? How does he do it? Just like, guys, just intuition. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it'd be kind of cool.
So that would be good every 4
Calling the
years.
states.
Yeah, every 4 years.
Yeah, every 4 years. Yeah.
Talk it, listen to animals for 10 minutes.
But then I just do the linear 150 then.
Yeah, for sure.
Why would I do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
10 minutes for gambling, sports gambling, 100%.
Gambling,
Yeah.
for sure.
I know nothing about sports gambling, for the record.
We have a question from Curtis. He is a parent of 2, and he asks, "How do you curb jealousy amongst siblings?" His kids are 1 and 3 years old, and as they get older, it feels like it's going to be tougher. How do you curb jealousy amongst siblings?
Man, he's starting 1 and 3 and already jealous.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe jealous of the time with them, affection. I could see that. I
Yeah.
remember when my daughter was younger, and if I was like holding my son a little bit, she would be like, come on the lap and stuff too, to be like, oh, what about me? I think you have to pick a favorite and let them know who's the favorite. Right? I mean, that's the only way to parent.
Well,
Like, you let them fight it out. I mean, it's survival of the fittest here, right? That's the way you do it. You want to be dad's favorite, just be better.
Here are your baby boxing gloves. Go at it.
Yeah, I think
Ding, ding.
go get it. Let's see, where daddy's love. No, I would say probably just be mindful of it, right? Don't promote
Yeah.
jealousy, right? You got to nip it in the
I
bud.
think
as
be
they say.
mindful, 1.
Yeah.
2, as a parent, I think if it comes to time with the parent, make sure you spend time individually. I
Yes.
think that's important
Individual
that they
time's
both
huge.
know.
Yeah.
And when it comes to things like, it's kind of hard because one gets something, the other one wants something. It's like yin tit for tat, yin for yang. I don't know how you deal with that. Just buy them both something, I guess.
I've been teaching my kids that now that one gets something, it's okay. You'll get something at another time. It'll
Yeah.
even out eventually, and just trying to show them, because my kids are 9 and 7, so about like fairness, like it'll all shake out at the end. It'll be
Yeah.
fair, and I think that's important because you got to let them know that not always they're going to win in life or whatever.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think
of course,
that's
yeah.
kind of hard. That's probably one of the hardest lessons I think I'm dealing with now is fairness with the kids. It's like it's not always going to be fair, but hopefully it'll all shake out at one point. And you'll feel like
Yeah, I think you got it. But that's also like society's changed so much.
yeah,
Like you show up, like in sports, you show up, you get a trophy.
yeah,
Right.
Like they play games and no one keeps score because no one can lose.
Right.
I'm like, are you kidding
Yeah.
me?
Yeah,
Like,
you need losers.
I'm sorry, but losing made you want to win.
yeah,
You know, because you don't want that feeling of losing. And just because you show up, you don't get a trophy just for showing up.
Yeah.
I would, if you grew up and you looked in your trophy case as a kid and it's like, participated, you'd be disappointed. Like
Yeah.
when you walk in there and it's like, okay, first place,
Yeah.
second place, you look at it and you go, damn it, I won first.
First, yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is the one that you got first, and you're like, okay, now I worked hard for it to get to that level.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be something where you understand that there are,
Levels of
success
achievement.
and levels of
Levels,
achievement,
yeah.
different things like that, and that everybody doesn't always win.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was dealing with this actually just the other day. My daughter, she's 7th grade. She's on varsity soccer, and so she played in her first varsity game. So I was happened to be home, thank God, and I saw her. She got a hat trick, and she scored with a minute left to get the hat trick.
Wow.
And 2 days before that, she scored the game-winning goal with a minute left. And she had both goals to win the game. So she had like 5 goals. So my wife and I are driving. We're talking about it. We're like, Olivia, this is great. And you did this, and I wasn't there for that, but that's awesome. And you get this, and that was awesome. And I could see my son, and he, you could see like the jealousy percolating. And part of me wants to be like, and Ken, you'll be great at tuba. Like you don't have the physical attributes and gifts that your sister has. But but. Then it goes back to, and your team was undefeated in baseball. And he's like, I know, but this year we're not. And I'm like, I know, but you did something that was pretty cool.
Right.
But again, I think I'm trying to be aware to make sure that the scales are balanced in terms of adoration, even in those moments. But yeah, he's going to be in band.
Stay emotionally aware.
Yeah,
He's talking directly to you, Mark. He's like, you.
That participation trophy thing, I thought that was at me. I was like, oh God, that is.
but failure is the greatest lesson I think in life.
I know.
I think it really.
Well, clearly.
Oh boy, wow. I mean, damn.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
If anybody knows it, it's our boy Steve.
But I will tell you this though, I never success was never a motivator.
Oh,
for me.
100%.
Like I
It's a
didn't
byproduct.
I didn't play and go, okay, I can't wait for all the spoils of success. I was more afraid to fail. I was more afraid to disappoint. I was more afraid not to show up and be great and live up to the expectations that were put on me. And that was always my thing. Fear of failure for me was a bigger motivator than anything at success.
Yeah, you watch I just finished that Derek Jeter doc, and
Yeah.
I'd seen the Jordan one. Everybody had seen Last Dance, and what you come away with is those guys achieved greatness because it almost seemed like they had a bigger hatred of failure more than an appreciation of success. And like Jeter was like, yeah, we won, but there's still nights I still think about that game.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, golly. I mean, comedy is a profession of failure. When you see 60 minutes, when you see an hour special, that's 60 minutes of jokes that work. You don't see the 600 minutes of jokes that didn't work because every one joke that works, there's 9 that did. That's always the equation that it boils down to. For sure. And you don't see the toil. You don't see the just the getting racked publicly and humiliated. Just like it is what it is. But that's part of it is the drive to get to connect on that one where it's like, for sure, that one worked. Wow. Okay. Now we're off to
But
one.
you got to be built for that, man. Honestly, I'll be honest with you, sitting here next to you too, something's got to be mentally wrong with you.
You didn't even have to be sitting with me to know that.
I mean, to be like getting that instant, constant rejection, and then one hit, you're like, oh yeah, got it. I've been hit over the head 20 times, but I got that one. That's enough to keep me going. Kind of like golf, I guess. You hit one good shot and you shank 20 more. And that one shot keeps you coming back.
Yeah.
But God bless you guys, especially in football, because I think we all sit around Sunday, we all sit around Monday.
Could've done it.
We love it, but I know that Monday or Tuesday, just the physical
body,
pain that you guys deal with on a weekly basis, or what you had done over the course of your career. It's like I think like as much as I love to cheer on, I'm always still like appreciative, like of somebody who's serving your country or something. Like I still have a lot of appreciation for football players more than any other sport because it's that 1 week. It's almost like a week to recuperate.
Yeah.
Well, and he couldn't play. I mean, it's a tough week. Like as you get older, when you're young, you play a game, you wake up the next morning, like, oh, okay, I don't feel too bad. I can play another game soon. Yeah. When you get older, like for me, my 15th year, I'm like, hopefully by Sunday I'll be good.
Yeah.
And then like Saturday, then your mind switches and your body starts to feel a little bit better. Yeah. But I was telling somebody the other day that I think that's the thing that I watch guys now play, and I respect these guys who play now. But the one thing that drives me crazy is when they take their jerseys off after the game on the field and they sign them to each other. And then they like hang. I'm like, one of you just lost.
Right.
You're that happy? Like
now? Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right.
Meet him at the bus after.
Yeah.
Do it there like that on the. Oh, that would if I'm just kind of more old school than that. If my mentality was completely different. Like football to me was life or death.
Right.
Like every day I'm going out there. Every Sunday, you are not my friend.
Yeah.
After the game, once I cool down, if we won or lost, then we can be cordial. But not right after, say we lost a game, you want to exchange your jersey. Yeah. Even if you ask me, I'm just going to say, you're not right. I'll see you by the bus or whatever.
Right.
But I'm not going to do it. That just eats me alive.
Yeah, that's what
I can't fathom getting over lost that quickly within seconds.
But that mentality is why you're in the position you're at.
That's the reason why you
held yourself to a higher standard, and you expected a lot more of you.
But
and
see,
probably
my
your
problem
teammates.
would be if my teammates did it. I would probably
you wouldn't be able to keep your mouth shut, right?
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. Sure. I had other teammates who wouldn't be able to keep their mouth shut with that type of stuff either.
Sure.
To the point where I would literally like, yo, I can't play with somebody like this. If he kept doing it, I let the coach know I can't play with this guy. You gotta go. He's gotta go. or I gotta go.
Yeah.
Your choice.
Take your pick.
I got this Fox contract sitting in a drawer, man. I'm ready to go whenever you want. Well, this has been awesome, dude.
That's
Thank
it?
you so much. Yeah, that's our time.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if you want to talk about
Yeah.
abortion rights or the Middle East and what Ukraine,
I've
please,
enjoyed my time.
by all means.
I've
divulge, yeah.
completely enjoyed my time with two broke moms. So it's
I got a Casio here and an iWatch, so we can,
no, I appreciate you inviting me on, man. It's been great.
This is so cool.
you've
You've always been so cool, and you're awesome. So, and I know you got lots going on, and I always wanted to thank you for the comfiest clothes I've ever received.
Oh, great, man. Anytime.
They are the comfiest, and I wore them to death. So I might have to hit you up for some more.
No problem. No
So
problem. No, but I appreciate coming here. You guys are great. You're funny. You're entertaining.
Yeah.
You're potentially, a liability.
But don't worry, the magic of editing. This is going to be great. Nobody's going to know what you're talking about. They're going to be like, "That was so clean. It was fantastic."
Can you tell us anything you're working on or anything you want
Oh
to
man,
discuss?
what the heck am I working on? I'm always working
Obviously,
on
the clothing
something.
brand.
I mean, of course, I got GMA. Of course, I got Fox NFL Sunday. We're shooting a $100,000 pyramid in January.
I'll come back. Fine.
Season 8. Oh yes, come on back and win somebody some money.
Yeah, I love that.
Of course, I got my clothing line collection by Michael Strahan, MSX, and we just released a documentary, Evolution of the Black Quarterback. On Amazon. We have another one coming out next month.
Evolution
this
of the
month,
Asian quarterback.
It's a 4-minute short film.
No.
And you just don't
It is
have anybody
it's a
yet.
20-second search because it hasn't happened.
It's a TikTok.
It's a 20-second. How long did it say? Never happened. There we go. 2 seconds.
It's just Steve going. Whack, whack.
That's all it is.
Evolution
And then
of
you're
the
gonna love
Asian
this.
statistician.
Oh, we have the history of black comedy that we have
Really?
coming out this month, hosted by Chris Spencer, Tiffany Haddish.
I love Spencer.
And we got all the guys in it,
Amazing.
which is really has been an incredible story to tell. But, we love all these things. Like, people should know the history of quite a few things that they don't know about that we kind of take for granted. So,
That's fantastic,
Yeah,
man.
we've been on top of it with our production game.
That's
And
great.
yeah, we're working on a lot of
When
different
does
stuff.
the
comedy one.
stand-up comedy thing?
That's this month, October.
Oh yeah.
Where's that at?
It's going to be on Vice.
Oh,
I love
Vice.
Vice. Yeah,
Great.
it's great.
All right. Well, you're the best.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
And of course, like, subscribe. If you have any questions you need us to help you with, right?
Yes.
Where
Yes.
do they go? They send us an email.
twocoolmomspod@gmail.
twocoolmomspod at Gmail, and of course at twocoolmomspod on Instagram. We love you. Stay safe, Michael. You're the best.
I'm looking at your face. You know what?
I'm cutting it right there.
These mommies love you, so show us some love.
Please rate us and review us. Follow us on all social media and subscribe to our YouTube.